All right, folks, it is San Francisco. Beautiful here, but we're going hotel room because we haven't done that in a while. Maybe tomorrow we'll get
out tomorrow.
The wharf, the bridge, maybe an Alcatraz view, something like that. You'll get one of those tomorrow.
And we've got Saturday as well. We're here for 3 days. I'll tell you,
Can't guarantee a window.
The way this team's playing right now, you can't guarantee anything.
No.
And we'll get to that in a second. But I had grand plans, Jonesy, to get out and see the city today and walk around. This is one of the jewels of North America. For all the times that I kill a lot of cities around the league, I'll give them some love. San Francisco, if you haven't been, go. And I was going to go to the wharf and the bridge and walk around and see the whole thing.
Get there tomorrow.
Man, I didn't wake up till almost noon.
Well, and folks,
shopping is great here. Spend some money.
I'll tell you, Eric said he didn't get up till about noon. It was like 10 o'clock for me, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah. And we got great jobs, but the road beats you up. It's tiring. There have been, you know, there's a back-to-back. This is our third city since Sunday night. So it beats you up a little bit, and you know you.
Well, that's why we're so late recording today, right? I mean, usually these things are up at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now it's what, almost 9 o'clock, you know, back home. So we apologize, we're a little bit late, but
better late than never.
I also thought I'd just let things fester a little bit and let you kind of stir it up on your own a bit, because I'm sure a lot of people are extremely upset. You were on Hoops earlier this evening with Zach Cooper, and. You know, good to see that he actually brought you on instead of, you know, just the blogosphere is getting a lot of love these days. So
hey, we're still here.
You know, but folks are a little cheesed after last night, and understandably so. And I wrote in the little preamble to this vlog that you read just above clicking on this link. I thought Jonesy last night was a perfect example of what this team has been all season. Jekyll and Hyde.
You just never know.
You never know, good or bad. Just when you thought they were terrible, they turned it around and they became good. Just when you thought they were good, they turned it around and became bad. Like literally on a week-to-week, month-to-month, game-to-game, quarter-to-quarter, half-to-half, whatever you want to insert, it changes.
Well, who would have thought that team that lost at home to Philadelphia was going to come out and force Kobe to make one of his superhero jobs to win a game on Tuesday night? And then who would have thought that team that came that close to sweeping the Lakers for the first time ever in a season series was going to play a so-so half and then come out and just give it up against Sacramento. It just, as Eric said, you just never know. And I think that's the maddening thing now, because there are 63 games in the books. You should know.
You should know, but you don't.
You don't.
I don't think the players know. I don't think the coaches know.
And there was an element of frustration with the players and the coaches and all the people surrounding the team trying to figure it out right now.
And I'll tell you, I'm trying to be. I'm not going to say realistic, because I don't think it's unrealistic to doubt this team right now. They've given you many reasons to doubt them. I'm trying to find what the right word would be. I'm trying to be logical about this.
Careful with logic, though.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I'd consider just about anything right now. You want to change the starting lineup? Fine, change the starting lineup. You want to have no more days off the rest of the year and just practice even after a back-to-back. You know, practice on the day of a second game of a back-to-back. Fine. You want to, I don't know, you want to bench somebody.
All bets are off. All bets are off.
Something. Hey, if another closed-door meeting, you know, has to be held, fine. Whatever it takes, you've got to get your stuff together for these final 18, 19 ball games, because right now, the way things are shaping up in the Eastern Conference, it ain't looking pretty. And I know, you know, predictions are coming in from all over the place. Oh, this team's going to miss the playoffs. That team's going to miss the playoffs. Is Toronto going to be on the outside looking in, etc.? You know, it's so funny how this thing has turned, Jones, because a month ago I would not have guessed that we would be talking right now with the Raptors being in this position.
You talked about month-to-month, week-to-week, game-to-game, half-to-half, quarter-to-quarter, minute-to-minute. Yeah. 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, Toronto's 7 games above 500 at 31-24, and people are calling us and saying, do you think they can catch Boston and win the Atlantic Division? You know, we are saying, boy, they look clearly like the 5th best team in the East.
That's why I think, folks, some of you need to chill right now. And what I said earlier, I agree with. Anything is up for grabs, and because of this Jekyll Hyde mentality, you really can't get a gauge of this team, and I understand the frustration and even the anger. But, as Jonesy just said, you can't get too high for the highs and then get too low for the lows as well. You got to try and find an even keel somewhere. So for all the folks that are right now saying, Colangelo should be fired, or Colangelo should have made a trade, or this guy needs to be sat down, or whatever. You might be right in the sense that, as I said, sit a guy down, maybe make a roster move, whatever. But don't give me a bunch of negative stuff right now if you were also the same person that, as Jonesy said 2 weeks ago, was talking about chasing down Boston for the Atlantic Division title. I know the root word of fan is fanatic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think you got to try and be a little bit even keel, and let's just wait and see where things stand when the dust settles at the end of the season. Because you know what? Based on the Jekyll and Hyde, the dust might settle, and when we're talking again in pretty much a month, it's just over a month that the season ends, April 15th, I think.
Yeah.
So when we're talking in a month, for all we know, the Raptors could be back in 5th again. For all we know, they could be in 9th and on the outside looking in, and then the sky will be falling. But let's just wait and see how it all unfolds. I.e., what happens, Jonesy? Hypothetically, if Toronto goes out and does win in Golden State and Portland and goes 2-2 on the road trip, is all forgotten? No, because you still had some terrible habits that crept into that Sacramento game. But are things
maybe
a little
you've corrected
more
them a little bit? Yeah,
maybe you have. So let's just hey, if they go and lose the next 2, maybe fall down to 9th. Hey,
you got to turn it around. I mean, look, they're not the only team in that bottom tier, playoff tier in the East that has been Jekyll and Hyde. Charlotte won 9 out of 10 at one point, and last week, a week ago today, we were on with Rick Bonnell from the Charlotte Observer, and remember Gerald Wallace was saying we're falling apart, we don't play for each other, we don't care, we're not communicating, and now they're one of the teams that's come back up. Chicago was up there, they were playing well for a while.
Injuries hit them, they've fallen down.
It's just,
Miami was down,
they turned it
to come
around.
back up.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. And this is why you play it out, and there's a full 82, and it's going to be a great race coming home. And you know what? Let's just enjoy the ride, whether it's nice and smooth or bumpy.
Plus, the other thing is you don't want to back your way in, but at the same time, how many of you, and us included,
I'll back my way in. I'm not proud.
Well, here's the thing, though. My point, though, Jonesy, was in terms of backing in. Backing in may end up being a good thing based on where you finish in terms of the seedings. Because how many of you, and again us, were talking about, well, if you finish 5th and you end up playing Atlanta, that might be the worst option. You're that much close to being just as bad as playing Cleveland. Maybe the better options are Orlando or Boston. Well, heck, if you finish down in 6, 7, 8, you might have a better shot at playing Orlando or Boston. So maybe in the end that ends up being a better thing. You don't know.
Wow.
You don't know because, again, the way the schedule's playing out for all the teams in the East and with the way it's so tight, Jonesy, it could come down to the final night where you might jump or drop 2 spots or end up jumping just that one little slot that ends up being the difference.
We've seen it. Yeah. We've seen it.
It happened to Toronto 2 years ago.
It happened to Toronto a couple of years ago. We saw Toronto on the last night of the season in 2005 beat Milwaukee, and Milwaukee dropped from 6th to 8th, and they had to play Detroit. Mm-hmm. We saw last year Toronto beat Chicago on the last night, and the Bulls dropped, and they had to play the Celtics in the first round. So anything's possible. It could happen. You just have to, as we said, enjoy the ride all the way to the end and hope that Jay Triano, on this day off, has had a chance to meet with his coaches, plan some stuff, maybe make some changes, maybe not, but have some other plans in place, some contingency plans in place to turn this thing around.
And for those of you that missed the interview, if you want to get a little bit more on the Raptors, click on the hot audio or audio on demand. Heck, I don't even know what it's called, and I probably should know that. Don't tell the bosses.
It's on the front page right now. It's on the front page right now.
Colangelo was on with Bob McCown, so listen to that interview for a little bit more, and he was fairly candid, I think, in his comments as well. So time to go. I got to work out. Jonesy's got a nap. We got to hit dinner later on, and maybe we'll try and get out and give you some more sights and scenes here in San Fran tomorrow.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Off to practice. Game Saturday. We'll be with you then.